bears! Today we are going to talk about compare and contrast. Does anyone know what compare means? Very good, Tommy. Compare means that things are the same. They have similarities. Can someone tell me what contrast means? Yes, Becky, great! It means that things are different. We can compare and contrast two or more things. For example, if I think about apples and oranges, what things are the same and what things are different? So things that are the same, I'm going to think, they're both a fruit. They are both a food. They both can be turned into juice, and they're both round. Now an apple can be red, just an apple. An apple can be green, but not an orange. And an apple is crunchy. Now an orange is orange. It's squishy. So these are things that are the same and different between apples and oranges. Another example would be a car versus a bike. So if we compare these two things, I notice that they both have wheels. They both have brakes. And they both take you places. But just a car is really expensive. It has a steering wheel and it's fast. And then just a bike is cheaper. It has handlebars and it goes slower. So today we're going to take a closer look at a comparison chart. A comparison chart helps us visualize similarities and differences. We can compare and contrast any two things. So in this middle column, we are going to write down things that are the same. And then on each side, we will write down things that are different. So on this left side will be one thing, and on this right side will be another. So to get our brains thinking about this chart, let's think about puppies and kittens. So I'm at an animal shelter, and I'm trying to decide, do I want to buy a puppy or a kitten? I would whip out my handy-dandy comparison chart. In the middle, I would list things that are the same. So they're both loving. They both need training. Puppies and kittens both have fur. They both need food. I need to take both of them to the vet. And they both need exercise. Now, if I look on the left, things that are just about puppies. They bark. They cost a lot of money. They use the bathroom outside. And they play fetch. Now, on the right, I would list things just about kittens. They meow, they're cheaper, they use the litter box, and they scratch on a post. So comparing and contrasting things can help us read. We can compare and contrast characters, we can compare and contrast a character to ourselves, we can compare and contrast events, we can compare and contrast two stories, and we can compare and contrast a book to a movie, just like the picture I have provided. Now, boys and girls, can I get Eric and Amber to pass out our story, The Fishing Derby? Once you have a copy of the story in front of you, take a look at the smartboard. While we read, we are going to compare and contrast a character in the story, Luis, from the other kids. So over here in No Man's Land, I have listed phrases from the story. So as we read, think about where each phrase should go. In the middle, because Luis and the other kids have this in common, or if it is a difference, it will go under either Luis or under the other kids. So I'm going to read until page 6, follow along with me, and then we will decide where these phrases go. So students have finished reading. Can someone tell me where Noisy belongs? Yes, great! The other kids sure were noisy. How about fished on Deer Lake? I'm thinking, yeah, all of them fished on Deer Lake. How about fished alone? Yeah, Luis, he sure fished all alone. Who was in the fishing derby? Oh yeah, all of them, right? All of them were in the fishing derby. Who fished on the pier? Good job, guys! The other kids did, but not Luis. And who had the secret plan? Good! Luis did. So now I want you to read the rest of the story silently to yourself. Let's see if Luis's secret plan worked. And keep in mind the similarities and differences between Luis and the other kids. So students have finished reading? Great work, you guys! Now let's do a little think, pair, share. I want you to think about where these remaining phrases go. Then I want you to share with your partner. Okay, boys and girls, let's come back together. Those willing to volunteer can raise their hand to tell me where these go. So where does caught fish go? You got it! Everyone caught fish. Who fell in the water? The other kids did, but not Luis. Who dropped their pole in the water? Yes! The other kids did this as well. And who quietly fished? Absolutely. Luis quietly fished. Who threw a doll? Yeah, the other kids did this. Who caught the biggest fish? You are right. Luis did. Who fell off a log? Right. The other kids did, but not Luis. And lastly, who won the grand prize? Correct. Luis's secret plan must have paid off. Now we will spend some time comparing and contrasting on our own. Each of you will get a copy of Buffalo Hunt and a comparison chart. Can you think of a time when you tried an activity for the first time? Whether it's a sport, an art project, a class, or something else. Keep this in mind as you read. You will read the story silently. When you finish reading, I want you guys to compare and contrast the character, Wind in the Treetops, to yourself. After students have completed this activity, they will share their charts with the person behind them. Then we will come together and students can share their chart with the class. Great work today, 5th graders. I will see you guys tomorrow.